What's going on, Danny Crew? It's Andrew here, and we are back for another day of Catan. We've got a ranked game. Now, to be completely fair, I played this game on my iPad, and it was recorded. Typically, sometimes I'm, sitting at a cafe, having a nice coffee, and I like to play these games. And this one was a super fun one. It was played. Oh, I love you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. YouTube, say hi to Twitch, Twitch to YouTube. We have a good time here. If you're interested in joining us, all the links in the description, everything below. Come by and say hi. We appreciate that. But yeah, sometimes I like to, take my iPad, go to a cafe, drink a nice mocha or a nice frappuccino or something, and play some Catan. So who knows? Maybe you might see me at your local Starbucks, sweating it out. But this is an interesting one because we are in the fourth position, which historically is not the best position in terms of win rate. But what I love about fourth position is that it offers us a lot of unique and creative opportunities. And I did post this board a couple weeks back. So there's a lot of people that have seen this board and gave me some thoughts about what we should do in fourth. And I'll say this, not a single person. I literally saw dozens and dozens and dozens of responses. Not a single person picked what I picked. Now, that doesn't mean I'm right. But what it does show is that there are potentially some missed opportunities to find some creative and fun ways to play. So let's get into it. We'll kind of go piece by piece, talk about how the game unfolds, talk about some of my tactical decisions. And something to note too, I don't remember a lot of this game. So I'm going to kind of try to relive it and give you my play-by-play thoughts so that, hopefully there's some kind of consistency. I'm not just like a kooky manic person coming up with every wild idea that hits my head. Hopefully there's some consistency in the way I see the board and the strategies that I employ. All right, shall the game get started? I think it shall. So we are in the fourth position. Obviously 8, 5, 10, really good spot here. I mean, you're looking at the double or the wheat. Some other options, I think you could look at something like the 5, 9, 10. It is the best wheat option here for second. Also, you do get some of the rare brick, with there only being the 6 and the 10. So typically for first and second, I really like finding your niche, finding your advantage. And the 5, 9, 10 does give you a lot of flexibility. You get 3 unique resources. You do get a rare resource on the wheat and the brick. Perfectly fine. So I think that's a great pick. This is where it gets kind of tricky. What would you guys pick here in the third position? I think probably one safe pick. You could look at something like the 8, 3, 10, just saying, hey, I'm going to get the road building, potentially point right if you want to go to the 8, 4. Hopefully that's open. You could look at maybe the 6, 3, 4, which is also very interesting from the standpoint that maybe there might be a case that either the 10, 8, 3 is open and you can play like a side-by-side, or maybe the 5, 4, 11 is open and now you have kind of like a built-in or we cheap game. But of course, that depends on what I do. I think it's a pretty reasonable expectation that I'm not taking 4, 5, 11 or 8, 3, 10 there. So that could be a way that third could play it, is they're going to calculate my response. Boom. You know what's funny? I don't even remember what everyone else did, but I'm just giving you my play-by-play, and they're kind of like fulfilling it for me. So from that standpoint, that's pretty cool. Have I seen this game? No one has seen this game. Literally no one has seen this game. Nobody has seen this game. So from that standpoint, super fresh. But okay, we're in the fourth position. What do we do? Let's get some ideas. Start cooking. Cook for me, chat. Serve it up. It's a tricky one. I actually spent a lot of time on this, which I probably should even start the video soon, just because I think I literally spent like down to the minute, down to the second. I think I used all my time here. All right, so we got some ideas. 2, 9, 4 up to the 5 wheat, 6, 4, 3 left to the brick port. Okay. So this man's saying, give me the 5 wheat long term. Give me, I guess, the sheep. Or you want to go up here on the 6, 4, 3 to brick port? Up to the brick port. Interesting. Okay. It's an idea. 5, 4, 11, 6, 4, 2. 5, 4, 11, 6, 4, 2. So you're kind of saying I'm going to play side by side, take the 2 brick and a wood, I'm assuming. Kind of tricky, right? You don't have the wheat, you don't have the sheep. So you're kind of really putting your money on roads and ore. Seal ore port from red. So we're seeing a 9-10 play over here. Yeah, I mean, the question is, how do you pair the 9-10 on this board? Do you like pair it with like the 8-3? That could be an interesting consideration. Something like 9-10. Problem is, like, if you go 9-10, 8-10, 3 point right, then you leave the 6-4-2, 6-4-3 open. So I think I calculated a few things here. I would love to try to make one of these wood brick spots work. Typically, third and fourth usually get kind of put into more of a road game because a lot of players in first and second will take the ore and the wheat. So just intuitively looking at the situation, there's nothing here that's going to give me like an incredible ore wheat sheep game, right? I could take the 9-10, but then like I'm kind of putting myself into like a worse version of what the 8-5-10 is. So I think your brain should be really buzzing here and saying, how do I build a road game? What do I do to play road and do it successfully on this board? So that's like the first marker I want you to start adjusting. If you don't see a path, at least start with your win condition and then work from there. Now, the one thing that when it comes to road is you need to think about your space. This was something that we went over at TSI recently is road is all about controlling space because A, you want to have settle spots to work, right? You need those points. But also maybe down the road, pun intended, you also want to take longest road. So maybe the ability to connect your roads and have the longest road is not a bad idea. So maybe that might have you guys think a little bit deeply about this board and strategically what you should be doing here. Okay, let me go through a few more responses and then I'll show you my plan here. 11-6 and 5-2 will always be open. 11-6. 11-6. All right, let me go back to responses. 6-4-2 to Sheepport. 6. Okay. I do think, yeah, so 9. This is interesting. I did see this idea of potentially building to the 9-12. Again, like, what are you playing for there? Are you playing for road? Are you playing for army? Like, how good is that ore if you don't have the wheat to support it, as an example? 5-2 is always open. 5-2. This is true. I don't think anyone takes 5-2, right? Because everyone's completed their wheat. So that's a very interesting wrinkle for sure. 6-3-4. So we got some 6 for Alberto coming 6-3-4 and 9-4-2. 6-3-4, 9-4-2. Okay. Ryan's coming in 6-4-3, 9-4-11. 6-4-3, 9-4-11. So you're playing like the side by side. One of the challenges with this thing, like, obviously I see that you do kind of lock the ore away a little bit, but your settle spots are pretty bare, right? Like you only have, I guess, the 2 settle spots here, and maybe you can point down to the 5-11, which it's not so bad. But from there, the port play is not particularly great. Maybe you're going to 6-2. It's kind of tough to say. I'm going to start the video, and then we're going to kind of get into some of the nuances here, because I do think I use a lot of my time. 6-4-3, 9-4-11 break port, 5 wheat expansion. So with the only thing with, typically I don't like having a lot of my expansions 2 roads away. So maybe that gives you a little hint about how I'm thinking. Again, when it comes to road, obviously you need wood and brick, you need space. Also, you need speed. So if it's going to be the case that I'm going to spend, 2 roads here, 2 roads there, it's a little bit too slow versus like these players just have a ton of speed when it comes to their ore wheat sheep game. So I'm very conscious of that. And it's not like I have a ton of brick. I have a 6. Well, okay, I have a 2 as well. If like, depending on how you want to play that situation. But from the standpoint of speed, I think you need fast settles and they need to be effective settles. A need for speed. So I guess it's 9-4-2, 6-4-3. So let's skip ahead. I literally think I use the entire minute here. 6-4-3. I think a lot of people felt the 6-4-3 was right. I think, look, if I'm going to say I'm going for road, I want to get advantage on wood and brick. Now, thinking about the fact that I need more speed and I ideally want good settles, I really think I'm going to skip ahead here. 9-4-2. So this was mentioned, but I don't think someone said point left. Why am I pointing left here, by the way? What's the advantage of pointing left? More brick. 8-3, 8-3. See, 8-3. Yeah. Yeah, so this is very common sometimes. You'll notice this with the 6-9-3 situation. It's like a positional play. Man, you guys are going crazy. I love it. I love it. Remember, this is a dandy game, right? Like we're getting into like the mind of like a really creative, fun game here. So the way I look at this game is I have a decent amount of wood. I have the best brick, so I can get around the map. I can get around the board pretty easily here. So I really love the 8-3. Like the sheep port's not going to do me much good, but be able to get all the resources. Like if you think ahead about this board, settle 5-2. I get the wheat. Awesome, right? So I have everything but the ore, but then I can start to build road to the 8-3, pick up the ore, and who knows? Maybe you might even go one more road and pick up the wood port as an example. So I have a plan here. I'm really thinking about my position long term and saying, what are my 2 to 3 settles going to look like? They're going to build me up to the position that I want to be in. And what's nice, so let's play this out, and we'll talk a little bit more because there's some things I calculated here. You also got to think about blocking spots. I'm sorry, but on this board, the 6 never gets blocked. The 4 maybe because it might be shared. Unlikely it's going to get blocked, right? We're going to see things like the 10 getting blocked. We're going to see things like the 5 getting blocked. Maybe the 9 might get blocked. Maybe the 10 brick might get blocked as an example. So I feel pretty confident knowing this position and just looking at the rest of the map. We should be left alone for most of the early game, which is what we want. We want time to build. We want space to build. We don't want to be smothered by the robber. Yeah, so this is my plan of attack, right? I'm thinking, and this is a good note for you guys, if you don't see an army path, go for road. And then you got to start pulling out these flags of what a good road game looks like and really think about your expansions. Like, okay, maybe I don't have the perfect game to start, but I can build the perfect game. And that's cool. Like, that's a cool way to think about Catan because a lot of players don't think that way. They just get their ore wheat sheep and they build a city and they buy devs, which is cool too. But the road game is a little bit more about finessing the board. It says speed, then talks about a 4 road settle to maybe an 8 wood. Well, it's progressive, right? I can get to the 5-2, pick up the wheat. I can drop 2 roads, which I think I should be able to muster up pretty quickly. I also have some trading power. I could potentially be doing things like, 9-10. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's probably the better play, honestly. But then you also give a pretty decent setup here to black. I think there's going to be a world of pain here because if you look at this situation, 5-4-11, like he didn't, like I think in this situation, blue didn't calculate this because if 5-4-11 goes, then he just gets plowed to the wheat port. Yeah, so I mean, he probably could have thought about this one a little bit deeper. Yeah, I think he gets absolutely plowed to death, right? Blit. Blit. Perfect. All right. Good. All right, we got a game, guys. Who do you like? And just because I'm playing, don't say it's me. Like, honestly, like who would you prefer to play? I would say probably in terms of like easier setups. I mean, black and red, it feels a little bit more straightforward. Black has a nice coordinated 5s. He's got all the resources. He's got great ports. He's got great expansions. But red also just has like monster opportunities after the 8-4s unlock. Red strong now. Red, black. No one likes me. No one likes my setup. No, I agree. And again, this video is not about me winning or losing. I want that to be clear. This is about me like just putting myself in the running. Like I want to just have a shot here. And I agree. I mean, I'm not thrilled about my setup, but I think if the right variables come into play, I think we've got a great game long term. But we need to get to long term, right? Like we don't want to get blown off the board by one of these ore wheat sheep players. So I immediately say this is bad at the start of the game, just because like it's tough. Like I mean, I think red has a fantastic setup, black has a fantastic setup, Boom, shakalaka, right? We're already cooking. This would be a monster trade. This is a somewhat decent trade, potentially with blue. But I don't think I'm going to get it. Probably in most cases, I'm probably going to have to 4-for-1 to get that settle. But okay, we go 5-2 here. I like picking up the wheat. The wheat's just works well with us, allows us to get those next settles pretty quickly. And damn, if the 2 ever rolls, we're just rocking and rolling. Nice block on the 5. So we're just going to keep throwing this trade out there. I don't think it has much value now, but once the brick potentially starts rolling, it might have a little bit more value. I can also look to sell this brick, which I think is also not too bad as well. This might be a potential trade. I might just take this, honestly. Yeah, so that's a good judgment call there. Look, I don't have any wheat. And unfortunately, I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm probably going to have to give up to get it because I don't produce it. But I produce a good amount of wood and brick. So it's a good trade for blue. It's a good trade for me. You know, could I have maybe been a little bit more patient? Maybe. But just securing the wheat, pretty good for the 5-2 settle here. Not a lot of number diversity, though, from red. No, but he's got good numbers. And after 8-4, his overall diversity is pretty good. Like, he's got 2 sources of ore, 2 sources of wheat. He obviously has a sheep problem, but there's a lot of sheep on this board. So, I mean, there might be cases where I might be able to even trade my sheep to red, depending if I actually want to do that or not. Blue is probably the least threatening at the moment. Probably. Yeah, I mean, blue needs a 9-10 city. The 2! Look at that. Now, I did give up, understandably, I gave up the 2 cards to get the wheat, but look, we got the settle. We produce a decent amount of brick on this board. We produce a lot of wood. So overall, I'm pretty happy that I was able to get that deal. And this is the thing, too. Think about the blocks, right? What are the key blocks on this board? Now that everyone's placed, what are the blocks? When I do that, I immediately get robbed for a resource I don't make I trade for. Sometimes. But there's certain dynamics that just work in your favor. And this is a huge favor for us. Like, we're not ever going to get blocked here. Especially by black, which I'm kind of encouraging black to buy devs in this game because he's going to be smacking red. He's going to be smacking blue. He's not going to be touching us. 10 wheat. Fantastic block. Potentially 3. The 5's getting blocked by blue all day. Maybe the 10 if blue wants to kind of shift it back and forth. The 9's certainly a target against potentially black. Also, 5 will be a target. But ultimately, I just want the wheat to move into my settles and be a little bit faster. So we're in a great position here. Fantastic position. 10 gets blocked. Love to see it. And another 6. So here's what I'm thinking. With my current hand, I'm thinking, can I sell my brick at a premium? Everyone has, right? This is cool, but can I get 2 cards? Just like that. And there's so many cases where these players will do that because their hands are kind of busted. And honestly, because I'm actionable, I don't have to just give him another card because he's asking. I'm going to be very patient here. I'm going to say, take it or leave it, bub. But also, blue, if you lose another settle spot, you probably lose the game. So you probably should take it. He's thinking about it. He's going to break. This is yeah, you know he's going to break. You know he's going to break when he sits there. Look at value. We're just getting value. That's all it is. So we're going to settle, and then we're going to have a sheep and a wheat in our hand. And that's the nice thing when you're not in a rush for this kind of stuff. You can take your time. You can relax. After you get the ore, let me see here. What are you saying? Dandy, ever go 9-3-11 to stop red from taking it? Great settle. Looking good. No, we don't need... So here's the thing. When you come up with a plan in Catan, stick to the plan. There is something in the military called mission creep, which is people come up with plans and then they decide to go do something else. Don't do that. We have a great plan here. You don't understand. Our plan is amazing. We're going to go get wheat. We're going to get ore. We're going to build cities. We're going to take longest road. We're going to settle like a beast. That plan's good enough to win the game as far as I'm concerned. So we don't have to start picking up the 9-3-11 and getting more sheep. For what? We don't need more sheep. We've already got enough sheep. And frankly, at this point, with the situation with blue, by the way, look at this trade. Will it go through? Who am I targeting with? Well, kind of stupid. I should be saying this. Who am I targeting with this trade? Especially right after the 8 rolls, right? Of course I'm targeting red, because red needs the 8-4, and I know my brick has value. So I'm not going to, like, I might do a 2 for 2 if the trade's really good, like maybe 2 or. But I know I can hustle red here. He's got a lot of cards. He's looking for the settle. So these are moments that you got to get ready to strike. Okay, so he wants the wheel and deal. I like this. So I might throw in a sheep here. Okay, I take the 1 for 1, gives me the pop. I'm okay with that, I guess. Probably could have considered holding as well. Utility's good. Oh my god, look at this. I don't know if you can tell. 4 for 1s for a wheat. He didn't even try to trade. He didn't even ask. When I see that, by the way, when I see players 4 for 1ing ore at 2 points, I know they're in trouble. You should never be 3 for 1ing or 4 for 1ing ore when you don't have a city. In fact, that's a rule. Don't do that. Unless you absolutely have to. Like if there's something that is forcing you to do it, don't 4 for 1. All right, hopefully I adjust the screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm recognizing it. Okay, so we got a knight. Probably not getting army. So at this point, it's just more wheel and dealing. I'll take 2 cards. But I don't think he's got a lot to give. Yeah, so in this situation, I'll do an ore plus. I'm not opposed to that situation. After you get ore and wheat, if it's still open. 10s of 5s. Perfect. And the block works out well. So here, I'm going to look to try to sell my wheat. I know for a fact that red needs wheat, so maybe I can get like an ore plus. Not a bad trade as well. I'll probably either take this or I'll edit it for like an ore, like a wood ore as an example. But I don't mind the 2 wood. The 2 wood's good for us here in the event that we do get the brick. Also, I kind of like the idea of making red, like pacing red strongly so that he's still at 3 points. Like if red finished on 2 points in that last turn, I might be a robbing target, and I don't really like that. Perfect, so I'm pacing nicely here. I'm doing well, but also I'm not the target. All right, where's the good rolls? There it is. We needed that roll. Blue late game could get a really nice OWS with all the open space to the left, trading with you. By the way, just little note there, right? I'm trying to get some decent value here. And the thing, too, is brick for ore is really good for me. I have a lot of brick. I have no ore. Generally going to be a good trade, especially with blue. Like, I want to try to get some trading momentum with him. He's at 2 points, and I don't think he's winning the game. So I don't mind trading blue. So, I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, if we pace a couple nights and we keep getting these ore trades, I mean, we could put ourselves in a real situation where we actually get army. I am over, though. So there is the situation where I could 7 out. So this is a trade I would take. I generally like this trade. I have the ability to potentially buy a dev and drop a road. I don't mind it. Oh my god, I have to take that trade. You take that trade every day. You take that trade every day. Okay, yeah, he gives it to red. That's complete. I mean, I'm doing pretty well. Down dev, 8 cards. Oof. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get an ore here. I think red would be probably the best target there. I can also potentially do wheat. I know wheat's pretty valuable here as well. So this is a city trade. Looking for a little creativity. I can also potentially trade for the wood and then steal the ore as an example. Perfect, perfect. So VP is perfect here. If you understand about road games and like what they usually entail, Pulling one VP is a monster difference. And the fact that it's my second development card is perfect. I usually say the road player is going to have to pull 2 to 5 development cards, usually to kind of get the right ratio. And to pull it on the second development card, it's like, okay, perfect. We accomplished, I think, one of our harder goals, to be honest with you. There's your road player 1 VP. Exactly. Now you just need the 1 city. Exactly, right? And then we accomplished that by simply going to the 8-3. So if you understand and you play this game more and more, you understand there's structures, there's frameworks, and how these setups, like this is why I built TSI. I wanted to teach you like the frameworks that underlying road. And it's funny, once you understand like the nuances of like what's a good road game, you start to see it and understand it more and more and more. Nice. So this is where I'd do like an or for a no block here. I'd be communicating potentially as red, but I want him to throw out his hand first so that he doesn't throw out the or specifically. So as soon as he throws it out, I'd consider typing it. I think on the iPad, I would just like screw it. I think I've got a decent option here. I can keep peddling this breakaway. I think this is still kind of a decent trade. Otherwise, I can just start going to the 8-3 here, which I really like it. Yeah, these 8s have been a menace. Interesting by red. I don't like what he's doing here. Like 4-11 makes no sense. Potentially we can do this. Perfect. We keep getting these trades, which I think are absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're seeing a knight come from black, and I think this is a situation where he's probably going to keep hitting this 10. Yeah, man. I think better, honestly, though, I think going to the 8 or here, the wood port's really good. Like, he just gets 8s up and running. I don't like him venturing to the 4-11s. Too slow. TSI crew, AOD. I believe they call this a trade masterclass. Yes. What's the rule, guys? Or wheat sheep? What's the setup rule? We have a rule when it comes to building the ideal or wheat sheep game. I always say this. You need 2 things. I mean, you guys should all know. And yes, I was saying it, right? You should double the 8. You need a port and you need a city. Dude, I mean, this is no different. Like in this situation, like he's been trading me some ores here and there. Why is he building 2 roads to a 4-11? Who cares about the 4-11? Go drop a city on the 8-5-10. This is so much production as red. It's just like, why are you wasting your time with roads? Like, build a city. Like, that's how you're going to win this game. And if all else fails, like, just go to the wood there. All right. Pretty good hand. I'm going to block the 10. I like the 10, actually, in a lot of cases. I'm going to do an or for no steal here. That's what I'm asking. I think black's a good steal here. I've also seen, like, yeah, I'm getting no steal for no steal, which is amazing for me, by the way. Great hand here. Do we pop or do we hold? I like the hold here. I think there's a lot of options. Like if the 5 rolls, there's potential extortions with the knight for the city. Also just straight up trades, which I quite like. City port army. There it is, man. Yeah, I mean, a little confused what's going on with like red's playing. Like honestly, I kind of feel if I'm black, I'm gonna start blocking me. Like if you think I'm gonna be taking road this game, which you should be feeling in your heart, and you see that your OWS competitor is not playing it properly, then you just go take out the other guy who you think's gonna get the win condition. All right, we got to trade here for a city. We got to trade. All right. There's definitely a deal here. I'm going to put the sheep out for ore. It's what I meant to do. I'm looking at red in a lot of these trades. I'm also looking to make a deal. So I'm saying to red right now, I'll play a knight for an ore trade, and that gives me a city. So I just typed in chat, I'll play a knight for an ore. And I might honestly go fishing in his hand. He's not responding, so I'm just asking red question mark. He says no. Okay, I'm going to go smack him. There it is. So typically, I don't like to be aggressive like that, but I'm kind of in a weird situation where I have 10 cards. The city's so close, like I'm literally one card away. I'm going to take the risk. Does it pay off all the time? No. But he had a lot of ore in his hand. I think he had like maybe 4 ore in his hand, something like that. Like I had a 50. I think I had a close to a 50% shot to get it. So I got it. I'm going to 4 for 1. And yeah, the city here's a no-brainer. We're just going to put it 6-4-3, doubling down on our. There we go. So now I want you to understand, how do I win this game? Let's think about it. Honestly, it's actually pretty easy. I have the VP, I have the city. Now I need settles and road. That's it. That's it. That's the game. I settle out. If I can build another city, great, but I don't need it. I build settles and I take road. That's it. So now I'm just full steam ahead towards the finish line. If I can get there in time. But like in terms of structurally, we're playing this game exactly the way it should be. And see, he had a yup, and he takes a road settle over a city. Just like on production, it makes no sense for red. Just yeah, road settles, right? I mean, you do the math. We have enough settles for 3 settles and road. And now that our brick and wood are doubled and tripled, oh man, the setup just cooks. Now I'm still going to get deals here though, right? Like if I can get 2 cards, like a wood ore, I'm asking for the sheep ore there. Very likely I'll take it. I'm just going to keep throwing this at him. Yeah, I'll take that deal too. Sheepwood? Sheepwood, I'll take that. I don't mind that. Sheepwood, not bad. 2 wheat's amazing. Sheepwood, there we go. Do I not take it? Maybe I'm scared of black too, though. Maybe. I mean, it's pretty good, Sheepwood. I guess, like, in my mind, black's really the only player that could stop me winning this game, technically, from that standpoint. So, I don't mind making... Oh, the 2. The 2 is amazing. And then we roll the 7. The 2's great, though. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Man, we're just stealing like a beast, man. Ideally, yeah, look at this hand. Oh, my goodness. 3 roads now. But hey, man, this is what happens. You know, as a road player, we got the 5 to... Oh, my God, it's perfect. So we have the road settle on the port now, which is also amazing. So it's interesting, right? Like, this 6-4-3, 9-4-2 angle, it looks a little awkward, right? Because, oh, we got the 2. But again, thinking about our advantage on roads and getting around the map, after you settle 5-2, you make some wheel and deal with the Orwe cheap players. Like, it's actually a really good position. Okay, if we 7 out, it's definitely going to hurt, but it's not the end of the world. And I don't mind, now that we have the VP, I don't mind having the knight. The one thing about this position, if we do get solo blocked in the 6, we do die. Right? We have double wood, so they can't stop us there. But we only have one good source of brick. So we just can't afford, in my opinion, to lose it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, so we need to survive one more turn. Okay, so wheels and deals here. I think blue's trying to build a city. So he traded a brick and a sheep. It's a good deal for red, good deal for blue. I think he really needs to get this 9-10 down. Interesting, he doesn't. All right, look at our hand here, guys. Holy. There might be a trade here, potentially. Something like a brick for ore. So this is what a lot of players do when they see their hand and it's actionable. They'll just take it. Like if they see a dev, they'll pop. They see a settle, they'll take it. I still want to try to trade. I hope Past Drew tries brick for ore here. Like that's the first thing that my brain says is maybe that's a trade. Maybe. But it's unlikely. Okay, no, this Drew had too much coffee today. yeah, well, bad syntax there. It was a great hand. That was a fantastic hand. I am looking concerned here, though. Like, obviously, I can drop a road for 8 points. That's really good. But Black's also doing well, potentially on 7, settles for 8. And now, I mean, looking good, man. Looking good. Oh, that's great. That's great. We want to see. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so he might have been holding that mono, which might have explained why he didn't city. So one of the rules that I generally have is that I'll delay the city. Oh, let me pause. I'll delay the city if I have a mono in some cases because I can always mono or mono to get that city or 2 cities. So interesting decision. I mean, I do think this is a little bit premature by him to drop roads because now he's going to be pacing, like he's going to look like a threat. So he needs to be okay with that fact. But yeah, I'm not crazy about Red's position right now. He didn't really get much out of that mono considering how much ore he produces. Yeah, and see, that whole situation, Red played the mono for literally 3 ore. While he has the most ore on the board, drops a single city, takes road for 7, and now he becomes a target. When I'm sitting here with 2 down devs, easily I'm getting road, right? Like, road is my long term. There's just no questions about it. But he's, pacing. Didn't really do it, brother. Didn't do it. I like the 2 cards here. Gives me something to work with. Again, I have no reason to trade him unless I can get some kind of deal here. I realize also he doesn't have ore. Okay, so he's looking like he's on 7. Red's on 7. Oh my god, look at this hand. Oh my god, look at this hand. What do we do here? Looking at this hand. What's some ideas? This is like a super crazy hand, right? Plow to the 5 wheat. That's interesting. That's interesting. Get sheep, 2 settles. True. True. If we get a sheep, we road settle, or settle, road settle. I'm not even sure that I even played this hand properly. I'm just letting you guys know that. So I think I remember what I did. But I think one thing I'm looking at here is like we do have a few things, right? We have road settle on the 5. We have road settle on the 6-2. I'm trying to think about like how do I close out this game? And obviously playing defensively and taking the 5 is kind of nice against Black, but is Black really that close right now? He might be on 7. But like for instance, how does Black win? He settles 8 cities, the only available settle, 9, pulls a VP. He needs to produce 3 points. And they're kind of difficult points in the end. So playing defensively against Black doesn't really seem to be that great. But I do see the 6-2 here. And I kind of feel if I want to close out this game, I think the Brickport treats me pretty well while also extending my road. Like I'm actually pretty close to winning. In fact, I think there's even a winning play where I road, settle, steal a sheep, and then buy a dev as an example. So if I'm getting spicy, I could go going shopping for the sheep, and if I pull the ore, then I can drop into the city as an example. So I'm looking at that play. So I almost settled in the sheep port. Here, let me read. I like plowing Black. I don't think it's necessary. I think in terms of momentum for my setup, I don't like the plow on Black. Getting more wheat's not going to help my game, right? Like I already have enough wheat for me to settle. The 3-1's okay, but like what am I 3-for-1ing? I'm not 3-for-1ing the ore. I'm not 3-for-1ing the sheep. I don't produce that much sheep. I already have the wood port. I can go get the brick port, so the only thing I would be doing there is actually hurting Black. But positionally, I don't think taking the 5 actually helps me that much because I'm going for road anyways. So I like playing off the 6-2 idea a lot, frankly. So I think this is a mistake. I think this is a mistake here. I end up taking the sheep port. It's not horrible per se, but I think in hindsight, I would have gone up to the 6-2. Like, okay, I get the sheep port, but I mean, I potentially could have, maybe the 3 might roll, but in hindsight, I think 6-2 is better here thinking about it. That's my opinion. Feels like the 6 would become a target once you settle the port. Trade brick for ore. Well, the thing is, I don't mind that just because I do have a knight, right? So even if the 6 gets blocked, I can always just play a knight to protect it. I also have a pop here. So if I do pull, for instance, like another VP, I'm 2 roads from winning. But in general, I like the 6-2 play. In the very least, so I built to it. And this is where I think I made the mistake. I realized, looking back at this decision, I realized I could have just gone to 6-2 and settled, which would have been functionally better for me anyways. I also realized I could have taken the 5. I didn't do that. So, okay, I made a mistake. You know, the position's giving me a lot of cards. Oh my god, I got flustered. Trade brick for ore in the city. That was also a thing too. I could have used the knight, but I really like the yeah, this is an insane trade. Yeah, these trades should never go through. I mean, if he's giving me this trade, then he's okay. I'm kind of happy he's not giving me that. But now, like, red has to essentially play for nice, okay. Now it kind of feels like this guy's about to settle potentially for those 8 points. Maybe not taking the 5 was a mistake. Well, in my opinion, black is the most dangerous player as you will take road from red. Yeah. It's kind of a 1v1. Blue's been dead this whole game. Red is, maybe there's hope for red if he can sneak road. Oh my god. Okay, so we have a pop here. There is potentially a winning play as well. We do have the sheep port, right? So if we roll a 9 and we steal an ore. Oh. So there's a play here. There's a play. Right? What's the play, guys? Let's think about this. You weren't ready. You probably weren't paying attention. We need a few things here. Potentially, we steal a sheep. That's a card. And then with the knight, if we steal an ore, that's a city. We steal 2 ores. That's game. So, like, these are moments that you got to be ready for. Sheep ore, yeah. Essentially, that's the play. There's no trading here, I don't think. But I feel pretty confident. I think Red's hand is pretty primed. If you look at what he's been rolling, I think we've got a pretty good shot here with Red. Okay, of course we grab the wood. Of course. And I guess... Okay. I went for the win. Unfortunately, I'm trying to think here. Okay, it wouldn't matter anyways. The 2! All right. I do block the 5. It's a pretty heads-up block, right? We already have enough wheat. All right, we have a couple winning rolls here. The 9 wins. Any of the wood rolls win. That might be 9 points. That might have been game. Jesus Christ. All right, we win it. We win it. However we want. There we go. GG. Let's just take a look exactly where... Yeah, so black wasn't even close, right? This is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, even if you give him the settle, he's still only at 8 points. Of course, if he pulls 2 VPs, he's at 9, but okay, not too bad. Well done, GG's. Yeah, so I think, honestly, I played it really, really well from beginning to more or less like 70, 75% in. Where I think I made some mistakes was I think I probably should have gone for the 6-2. But we almost won with potentially the ore and the sheep steal, to be fair. We almost won that. Probably could have done a little bit better on the tracking side when I was going for the steal. I did see that red had a wood. Maybe I was just unlucky. I'm not sure. I think the biggest thing to take away with this game, guys, is strategically, like, we had a great plan, right? This was like a really good plan related to road. You know, like a lot of people, you know, they struggle with like how to play road, and it worked a lot of things in our favor. We got the city quickly. We got the VP pull after our second dev, and we built. I mean, this is quintessential road, guys. 5 settles, 1 city, VP longest road. Any questions? No, that was good. That was good. So there you go. Nice little 1700 ELO game. And 643-942 up to 5-2. Who would have thought that was the winning play? I appreciate it, guys. If you enjoyed that and you enjoy Catan strategy, please don't hesitate. Give a like, give a sub on the channel. We have a great time here. Also, all the links below in terms of the Twitch or if you want to join the Discord. Other than that, thank you for being here. Danny's out. Have a wonderful day. Peace.